Hello YouTube and welcome to the channel. Now then, in today's video we're going to be looking at our top race bulldozer here again and performing hopefully another mod on it to improve its bulldozing capability. If you've watched the previous videos you'll know we modded the tracks, and this helped massively with its ability to push dirt. Now I know this thing is only a toy, but it's always good fun to try and improve it. And one of the little problems this thing has got is you can't negatively depress the blade on the front. So if you're trying to, it'll bulldoze large amounts and big mounds, no problem at all. But it won't actually flatten anything out to a satisfactory degree. And again, I know it's only a toy. But let's say you've just got a little mound, because the blade, you can't depress the blade any further than the bottom of the track, so it's horizontal with the bottom of the tracks. Instead of being able to flatten out a small mound, it tends to drive over the mound instead, so you can never get a true flat surface with it. Now, myself and a friend were talking about it the other day, and he came up with the idea of actually adding or extending the lower portion of the blade with some other plastic or metal pieces, so it has the effect of the blade sort of drops below the bottom line 2 or 3 mil, so when you actually reach the full depression on the blade, you're actually cutting into the earth. So it's an excellent idea, nice and simple, which is often the best. So that's precisely what we're going to do today. So anyway, enough of the waffle. Let's start cutting some bits of metal up with my tin snips and see if we can't improve matters. So my first job was to remove the blade off the dozer, which is dead easy because there's only 4 screws that hold it on. Now I'm thinking to try to put a piece in the centre section only initially to see how we get on, and then if it's not satisfactory, it doesn't work out, you can possibly add some bits to the side. So what I'm going to do is just cut a piece of metal out, or measure this portion here and cut a piece of metal out 3 or 4 millimeters deeper, so when the blade is obviously horizontal or flat on the ground, it's at this portion here, the extra 3 or 4 millimeters, actually dig it in, and we can sort of carve a piece off the top. So that's the idea anyway. So I'm going to go ahead, measure this up and hopefully cut a relatively straight piece out. So I've marked it out on my sheet of scrap metal, and I'm going to attempt to cut it out with the tin snips. These aren't particularly accurate. I'm not very good with them anyway, but we'll see if I can get a rough straight edge anyway. Well, it actually turned out fairly straight, so this will probably give you a better idea of what I'm trying to achieve. So we're going to now sort of bolt that onto the plastic blade. So in effect what we're doing is we're just extending the bottom of the blade slightly. So anyway, I'm going to drill some holes in it and put some little bolts through it, and I might consider making some pieces for the corner here. So there you have it, finished article. Apologies, I did get a bit carried away and ended up finishing it off, but all I did was screw and glue these 3 bits of metal onto the blade. I've just used WPL self-tapping screws, by the way. So they're literally just glued and screwed onto the bottom to form a new blade. Let's stick it back on the dozer and see if we get any more sort of leverage with it. Okay then, back inside, what do we think of the modifications to the blade? Now then, I think we're going in the right direction with it. I think we could have gone a little bit more extreme with the depth to which we dropped these metal pieces below the original. I mean, these are dropped roughly about 4 millimeters below the line of the original blade. I think we could have dropped another sort of 3 or 4 millimeters, you know, because it just about, even with this metal portion, it still only just about sits flat on a flat surface when the entire blade is lowered to its lowest position. So although it's made some difference, I think we could have gone a little bit lower, but we're definitely heading in the right direction. I think this is definitely the way forward to get a negative angle on the cut, if you like. So I think that's probably the next step, is to drop these a little bit further down and see what happens. But it was definitely not much of an improvement, but a definite improvement. Plus, I mean, not that you would wear the plastic blade out on this. At least with having these metal bits on, it would sort of protect this a little bit, but it's quite tough stuff anyway. So, is this a worthwhile mod to perform? I'm going to say on the balance of things, yes it is. A, because it basically didn't cost me anything, just a bit of time. I already had all the materials available. And B, although it didn't make a massive difference, there was enough of a difference there to persevere with it and just try a few different positions of these little plates. Anyway, if you found this video of some use and interest, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you're feeling that way inclined, hit that subscribe button for more similar future content. Once again, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you again very soon. Thank you.